Hi, I'm Phyllis from southernfrugal.com, and I'm doing another video on retirement. And this video will talk about some of the advantages and the division of chores. So Mr. Bucky retired at 70. He was 3 months. He would have been 71 years old. So before 2 years prior to retiring, he started working just 3 days a week, which worked out really, really well. And that sort of eased us into his retirement. I was already retired. And I just wanted to mention some of the great things about retirement. Number one, you get to sleep as late as you want to. If you want to sleep till 10 o'clock in the morning, you can. However, when you get older, you get used to waking up because you were working before, and so when you retire, you still wake up, okay? You rarely sleep late. And the great thing, what I super liked about retirement was that if I had a big meal at lunch, I could take a nap. And I did. I would take a nap maybe once a week, sometimes twice a week, and sleep for 2 hours after lunch if I wanted to. It was heaven, y'all. It was absolute heaven. And if we had a rainy day and you couldn't get outside to do anything, I would just sit all day and read a book. It was great. And also, you can stay up late. If a good movie's coming on late at night and you want to watch it, you can stay up late because you could sleep in the next morning. And then the times when you can just do absolutely nothing. You can just sit all day and crochet, or like in my case, I would spend days painting a portrait, and why not? I could do it, so I did it. And then just things that you used to dream about doing when you were working and never had time. Now you've got time, you can do those things. And what you don't want to do, of course, is get depressed, because I think a lot of people retire and after about a year they run out of those things that they were always wanting to do because they've already done them, and they get kind of depressed. So you want to keep busy. That's what you want to do, and particularly keep busy with some physical activity. So I just wanted to mention that first because there are definite advantages to retiring. Also, now Mr. Bucky and I did most all of our traveling before he retired, simply because we could, because he was off during the summer. He was off 2 weeks at Christmas, I think a week at Easter, and he could take off extra if he wanted to. So we had a lot of traveling during that time. So anyway, then we get to the division of chores. And to start with, now, when Mr. Bucky retired, he wanted to write books, and that was a case of always wanting to write some books but never having enough time to do it. So for the first 18 months that he was fully retired, he wrote books. And he wrote 7 of them, and I think they're good. They're for sale right now on Amazon. I wrote 2 of those books. And the last, I guess, probably 2 months or longer of that 18 months, I helped him by doing all the typing. He'd already typed them in, but then you had to correct any mistakes and spelling and all that, and you had to get them in the format for Amazon, both for books that needed to be downloaded and then those that would be printed. So it was the books had to be done twice, y'all. So I'm just guessing now that it was about 2 months. I just worked super full time on that, helping him. And then that was done. So after all that, then we needed to do a division of chores, because after all, he was here all the time and I was here all the time, and I was used to doing everything, dumping the garbage, unloading the dishwasher, loading it, doing all the cleaning, everything. And I did that while he was writing the books and cooking and all that. So then after we finished that, we both kind of thought, well, he wanted to know, well, what could he do to help, to make life a little easier. And so here's what we came up with, y'all. And he told me this morning, he said, now make sure you ask if anybody else's husband does these kind of chores. So y'all let me know in the comments if your husband, or if you're the husband listening, if you do some of these chores. He cleans up the kitchen after I cook. I do all the cooking. And mainly I do because I don't like the mess he makes when he cooks. I don't like grease all over my cooktop and that kind of thing. So I do, plus I cook better than he does. Let's just face it, I do. So I do the cooking. Now he will do grilling out on the grill. But mostly I do all the cooking. And he does the cleaning the kitchen. In other words, loading the dishwasher, cleaning out whatever needs to be cleaned out. So he loads the dishwasher, and then the next morning, he most always gets up before me, and he lets the dogs out, and he unloads the dishwasher. And then, of course, I make our smoothies, and I do a video a lot of times, and have been for over a year now, on the videos, on the smoothies. I do videos sometimes in the morning. I don't do as much right now as I used to do. And the other thing he does is he takes out the garbage, and he picks up dog poop, and he does that every single day. And he also does the yard work. And I'll have to say, when I was writing all this down, he was saying, wait a minute, it sounds like I'm doing a lot more than you. And it does sound that way, but that's not the case. So he works in the yard, does the grass mowing. Now, when he was working still and working 200 miles away, I did a lot of mowing of the lawn, which I, by the way, really like because it's great exercise. But then once he came home, he wanted to do it all. In fact, if I mowed the backyard while he wasn't here, like say he went to Columbia for something, and while he was gone I mowed he would get mad because I mowed it because he wanted to mow it. I don't think he thought I mowed as good as he did, but anyway, I would still do it sometimes just for the exercise. So he also feeds the dogs and, gives them fresh water every morning. And sometimes if we've got company coming and I'm having to, dust and, clean bathrooms and all that, he'll do vacuuming for me, which is good, especially with that big heavy vacuum cleaner, because he doesn't get as tired as I do when I use it. And every once in a while, y'all, he will polish the furniture for me. He does a really good job, because when he was growing up, that was one of his jobs for his mother. He would polish the furniture. So, and now I'm not saying he does that maybe 2 or 3 times a year, y'all. That's it. But he will do it. And also the incidental shopping. If you need a loaf of bread, if you're out of milk, you need a dozen eggs, whatever. He will go to the store, which is just a few blocks away, but still he'll do that, which is great. And so then my chores became, first of all, I was doing all that stuff while he was still working. So I do all the cooking, and I do all the shopping. Although Mr. Bucky can do the, if push comes to shove, and I'm remembering one time when the kids were going to come unexpected. We didn't know they were coming, and they were going to arrive the next day, and I was cleaning and, changing sheets and all that, making everything ready, and he did the shopping. So those are occasions when he'll do all the shopping. But I have to make the list, so it's just as easy to go on to the store if you've got the list. And, of course, any little couponing we do now, I do. We don't do much of that. All right, major cleaning. I do all of that. Cleaning windows, washing curtains, changing sheets, shampooing rug. I do all of that. And I also do the laundry, and he does the folding of the towels and hanging up stuff. Sometimes I do it, but mostly he does that. And I did all the gardening up until this year, y'all. This was the first time he has ever prepared the garden. I like to do it because it's great exercise before we got the tiller. With the tiller, it's like no exercise. You're just walking behind the tiller. But I used to dig it up by hand. It was great exercise. And I do flowers. Now, we don't really have that many flowers in the yard now, but in the past we used to have a lot of flowers. And I also do the dog care, the trimming, bathing, clipping the toenails, and I give them their heartworm pills and take them to the vet. Sometimes he goes, like if we have a sick dog, he will go. But mostly I take the dogs to the vet. And the other thing that I do, and I do all the ladder work. If a bulb has to be changed in one of the fans, I have to be the one to climb up on the ladder and do that because he can't really climb up on ladders. And what I consider one of my biggest jobs is to pick up clutter. And you just have to keep it picked up and put away because Mr. Bucky sometimes doesn't know how to put stuff back from where he got it. So we're still working on that, y'all. And I like my bathrooms always clean, and it's particularly the one downstairs that anybody that was visiting might use. And so I do the bathroom cleaning a lot. And also, I keep my little desk in the office sort of clean and neat. Mr. Bucky's is never clean and neat unless I ask him to please do it because I don't like to look at it. But he kind of can work real well in a mess on top of his desk. I got to have it clean so I know what's going on. So anyway, and through all this stuff, getting the house ready for sale. Oh, and I do all the painting. He paints. He knows how to paint. But I like to do it because I think I'm neater than he is, and he thinks I'm neater than he is. So mostly I do any painting that needs to be done in the house, and I've done videos. Y'all have seen me doing that. I do any sewing or mending that needs to be done. Of course, I have to do that for sure. And I can't think of anything else. His chores are every single day. My cooking and preparing meals is every single day. And in fact, I can't remember a day when I didn't really cook something. So I handle all of that, and that's about it. Now, when he first retired, he was used to 5 days a week he was up there, and so that'd be 4 nights a week he was up there, and he watched what he wanted to on TV, right? Which was mostly sports because he had cable up there too. And so then when he got home, I didn't want to watch sports hardly ever. And so we definitely had some conflict about that. Now, is that resolved? Not really. Not really. But now what we do when he's watching some kind of sports game, I just get on the computer and watch what I want to watch. And, we're still in the same room, but he's watching what he wants to, and I'm watching what I want to. And we do watch movies together occasionally. And we both like to watch reruns of Gunsmoke. We also like to watch Bonanza. And let's see what else. We watch Heartland on TV. It comes on Wednesday night. We love that show. And we watch the news and the weather. Yeah, the local news and the weather. And we watch Fox News. He likes to watch the news at 7 on Fox. And then when they, I think 6:40, they have the panel on there. He always wants to watch that. And I kind of like that too. But I'm not real political. He's more political than I am. And so anyway, the adjustments were not that difficult, but now Mr. Bucky and I are just best friends, y'all. So, and we have a lot in common other than sports, and and he's very conversational. You know what I'm saying? He says he doesn't talk as much as I do, but he talks a lot more, y'all. And he's always got these interesting conversations about things that are happening in the world and all that. And so we make good company for each other. And I can't say that we had any major conflicts on the retirement other than the sports thing. That was kind of an issue because I felt like that cost us a lot of money paying all that extra for cable so he could watch all these games on TV. But anyway, I lost out on that one, y'all, and he won. So we still got the cable for all those channels that have the sports on them. And let me see. I can't think of anything else. Um, he has taken over a lot of the things I used to do with the dogs. Like I always fed them and let them out when they needed to go out. I still do that some, but he feeds them in the morning and the evening, and make sure their water bowl has fresh water every day, and picks up the dog poop. See, I used to do all of that, and so really when he retired, it was better for me because we just kind of split everything up. And now he does his chores no matter what. So every once in a while, especially if I'm doing some kind of cooking video, I feel like if I'm making a cake or something, I feel like I need to clean all that up because after all, I'm the one that made the mess. And if I clean up, he gets kind of irritated because he don't want me loading the dishwasher because he can always tell I don't load it the same way. He has an order about it, and he doesn't like it when I load it because then he has to unload it, and he doesn't like the way I load the dishwasher. So I try not to do that much. And I was trying to think of one thing that was a big shock. Let me think. Oh, I know. I've got it. All right. So he was retired full time. Now remember, before he completely retired, he was only working 3 days a week. So that meant he was home 4 days. So that was kind of easing us into retirement. So then, of course, he was completely retired. And as I recall, he did that like June 30th. So it would have been the 1st of July. And he'd already done all the books that he was going to do and everything, and then we had divided up the chores. And one day he decided that my kitchen wasn't working efficiently for me, and that he should rearrange my kitchen. And that is what he did. And I was at the grocery store. And so I came back home still not knowing what he had done. And I couldn't find my pots to cook in. I couldn't find anything. And I started opening I said, "Where are the plates? What have you done?" And he said, "Well, it would be more efficient if we did it this way." And so some of the stuff stayed the same way, but then some of the stuff got rearranged back the way it was. Y'all, you ladies know, you have things in a certain place in the kitchen because you use them in a certain area at the counter there, and that's where you want them. You don't want to have to walk across the kitchen. So anyway, we kind of got that straight. That was a little bit of a conflict because I couldn't believe he had done that. And he must have known that I wouldn't have liked it because he did it when I was shopping. So anyway, still some things are the way, he's a better organizer than I am, but he doesn't cook. So he didn't know that I need my spatula on this side of the kitchen, and things like that. He just didn't realize what you needed to cook. So anyway, that's about all I have on that, y'all. If you have questions or anything I'm just telling you what happened when we retired, and I don't know if we're the normal couple or not. We might not be. First of all, I don't think everybody works until they're 70. But anyway, if you have any questions or we could answer any of those questions, y'all let me know. Leave some comments below. There are a lot of great things to retirement. I think you do have to make sure that you can fit some physical exercise into your retirement. Don't just come home and get in the recliner and watch TV all the time, because you're going to start having some medical problems if you do that. But try to remain active and that kind of thing. Now we also, I forgot to mention this, we don't entertain the way we used to. First of all, entertaining costs a lot of money, y'all. It does. And we just never even thought about it before. We never even gave it a thought, but now we do. So we don't have big dinner parties where you invite 4 or 5 couples. That's what I'm trying to say. And really, you just start looking at things different, you know. And you also, I think, start valuing your time a lot more and doing the things that you want to do, you know, not doing them to please anybody else. You're doing, you know, hobbies that you wanted to do and didn't have time before. And I think one of the things I noticed when I retired was in the evening, and you know how somebody's always calling and talking on the phone and all that, and that we kind of cut that off, because I can remember us going out to eat and coming back, and we'd have maybe 25 phone messages on the phone. Part of that was to do with my work, and part of it was to do with his, but still, we'd be there forever listening to phone messages. And we rarely have a phone message anymore, and I can tell you it's wonderful, y'all, to not have to, you know, be concerned about stuff like that, but to be able to do what you want to do. I mean, if you've worked all your life, haven't you earned time for yourself and to do what you want to do, you know? All right, y'all, I've talked enough. All right, we will see y'all next time. Bye for now.